You have met a stranger and felt an electric pull so ancient and immediate that your mind called it fate. But that jolt of recognition was not love, it was a mirror. That person is carrying pieces of your own unlived life, and your obsession is the scream of a self you have abandoned. In the next few minutes, I am going to prove that your most agonizing romantic attachments were never about the other person. They were about a ghost inside you, a psychological figure Carl Jung called the Anima. Stay with this revelation until the end, because what you reclaim here will not just heal your relationships, it will make you whole. Part 1. The phantom in the first glance. Think back to the last time you fell into an overwhelming infatuation. Not a mild crush, but a gravitational collapse. The moment your eyes met theirs, a quiet devastation began. Your nervous system fired as if you had returned home after a long exile. You could not stop thinking about them. Their voice became a melody your mind replayed. The entire world dimmed outside the halo you placed around this one person. You told yourself this was the sign of a soulmate. Psychology tells a different story. What you experienced was not a connection to another human being, but a collision with a hidden part of your own psyche. Carl Jung spent decades mapping this interior landscape, and he discovered that inside every man exists a feminine inner figure he called the Anima, a blueprint of the soul, shaped by all the emotional, creative, and sensual qualities that conscious identity could not hold. In women, a corresponding masculine figure appears, the Animus. For clarity, I will speak primarily of the Anima today, but everything you hear applies to whatever archetypal image lives inside you. The Anima is not a poetic metaphor. It is a psychological reality. Jung found that when a man is cut off from his own tenderness, his own emotional depth, his own capacity for relatedness, those disowned energies do not disappear. They gather in the unconscious and form a living image of the feminine that waits, silently, to be seen. And then one day you walk into a coffee shop, or a meeting, or a party, and you see a person who seems to emanate the exact vitality you have been missing. You feel a sharp, physical longing. You interpret it as romantic love. But what you are really sensing is the proximity of your own lost soul. This is the first brutal truth. Romantic obsession begins as a case of mistaken identity. The stranger in front of you is a canvas. Your psyche, starved for wholeness, rushes to paint on them the image of your inner anima. You are not falling for a flesh and blood human with morning breath and unpaid taxes. You are falling for a projection of everything you have suppressed. The artist who never painted, the caregiver who never learned to receive, the logical mind that crushed its own poetry. Each one of these abandoned potentials can erupt as a fixation on someone who seems to embody what you have buried. Think of a man who grew up believing that vulnerability is weakness. He learned to armor himself with stoicism, to dismiss tears as childish, to avoid emotional intimacy because it felt like losing control. The soft, receptive, emotionally fluent part of his own nature did not vanish. It submerged into his unconscious and took the form of an anima figure. Years later, he meets a woman who cries openly, who speaks the language of feeling without embarrassment, who moves through the world with a gentle perceptiveness. Within minutes he is hooked. He thinks, she is so alive. I feel more myself around her. But he is not feeling himself. He is feeling the reflection of his own repressed sensitivity. He has fallen in love with his own missing piece, hosted temporarily in another person's body. Now consider a woman who was taught that anger is unladylike, that assertiveness is aggression. She suppressed her own inner fire, her capacity to set boundaries and claim space. Inside her unconscious, those qualities coalesced into an animus image, strong, decisive, fiercely independent. Then she meets a man who embodies exactly those traits. She feels instantly safe, electrified, as if he completes her. But she is not seeing him. She is seeing the masculine container of her own disowned power. The attraction feels like destiny, but it is actually a psychic homecoming to a part of herself she exiled in childhood. This magnetic recognition can feel sacred. It is intoxicating. The early days of such a connection are a psychological high. Your brain releases a cocktail of dopamine and norepinephrine. But underneath the chemicals there is a profound archetypal event. You have glimpsed a path back to your own soul. You mistake the signpost for the destination. And here is where the trap locks shut. Because once you believe the other person is the source of your wholeness, you have handed them a power they can never responsibly hold. You cling. You idealize. You start adjusting your personality to keep their light pointed at you. This is the beginning of self-abandonment on a grand scale. The very act of chasing the projection deepens the split inside you. The more you outsource your vitality to a romantic object, the more hollow you become when they are absent. The cycle strengthens each time you see them, because their presence temporarily relieves the emptiness, while their absence makes the void unbearable. You are not in a relationship. You are in a withdrawal and craving loop. Consider how this loop functions in real life. You send a text and wait anxiously for a reply. The reply comes, and for 10 minutes you feel whole. Then the silence returns, and panic rises. You check your phone 40 times. You replay the last interaction in your head. You begin to tailor your behavior, your opinions, even your appearance to what you think will secure their attention. This is not love, it is a frantic maintenance of a psychological lifeline. You have made them the caretaker of your anima, and no human being can bear that weight without eventually crumbling or fleeing. Part 2. The honeymoon as temporary wholeness. If you have ever been in the grip of such an obsession, you know that the first weeks or months feel transcendent. Colors seem brighter. Music reaches deeper. You write poetry at 3 a.m. For the first time in a decade. This is what Jung called the manna of the projection, the borrowed numinosity of the archetype. What is actually happening is that your unconscious has opened a channel, and you are tasting the energy of your own lost self, but you think it belongs to the other. This period serves a hidden purpose. It reveals a detailed inventory of everything you have disowned. Pay attention here. The qualities you obsess over in the beloved are a precise mirror of the qualities you have exiled from your identity. If you cannot stop marveling at their spontaneous humor, where is your own playfulness? If their courage to say no to others hypnotizes you, where did you learn that compliance was the price of love? If their creative fire leaves you breathless, what creative expression have you been starving for years? Every trait that mesmerizes you is a clue pointing back to a grave you dug inside yourself long ago. I want to slow this down. Imagine a woman named Elena. She grew up in a household where emotional expression was mocked. Her natural sensitivity was labeled as weakness. To survive, she became hyper-rational, efficient, and emotionally flat. Years later, she falls deeply for a man who is unafraid to weep at films, who talks openly about his fears, who paints large, messy canvases that make no logical sense. Elena thinks she has found her opposite, the missing puzzle piece. In truth, she has found the gravestone of her own feeling life. The intensity of her infatuation is directly proportional to the depth of her own emotional burial. Her psyche is screaming here, "This is what you locked away. Take it back." But she hears only the false translation. He is the answer. Ask yourself this question right now. What is the single most compelling trait in the person I last obsessed over? Take that trait, and then ask, when did I stop allowing that in myself? That second question is the door to your freedom. Most people never ask it. They stay in the trance. The honeymoon phase feels like being whole, but it is actually being borrowed. You are renting your own self from another person, and the bill always comes due. The tragedy is that during this phase, the psyche is offering you a diagnostic tool of extraordinary precision. Instead of using it, we build a religion around the other person. We mistake the map for the territory. If you could pause just once in the middle of that intoxicating haze and say, "What is mine here?" the entire trajectory of your life could shift. But the addiction is too strong. The external focus feels easier than the internal excavation. Part 3. The crack in the mirror. No human being can carry the weight of an archetype for long. The anima is divine in nature. Humans are messy, contradictory, and finite. Inevitably, the person you placed on that altar will do something that shatters the spell. Maybe they express a need you find inconvenient. Maybe they reveal an insecurity. Maybe they simply have a bad day and snap at you. Suddenly, the perfect mirror shows a crack, and in that moment, your psyche experiences a death. The rage or grief that erupts at this point is not a normal relationship disappointment. It is existential. When the projection collapses, you are not just losing a partner. You are losing the temporary solution you had constructed for your own fragmentation. The pain feels apocalyptic because unconsciously, you believe your wholeness is being ripped away. You may lash out, blame, or try to manipulate them back into the role you assigned them. You might tell yourself they have changed, that you were deceived. But the truth is far harder. They never were what you saw. They were a screen, and the film playing on it came from inside your own mind. This disillusionment is the most psychologically fertile moment of your life, though it rarely feels that way. Jung described it as the moment when the anima projection falls back onto the inner world, when the unconscious demands that you reclaim the projection and face your own unlived life. The mirror was never meant to remain outside you. It was meant to be taken back inside. The shattering is not a punishment. It is an invitation. I want to give you a concrete illustration. A client I will call Daniel spent 2 years in an obsessive entanglement with a woman who seemed to embody boundless freedom. She traveled spontaneously, changed careers on a whim, and spoke her mind without filtering. Daniel, a meticulous engineer who had learned to suppress every impulse that might upset his structured life, felt that she was magic. When she eventually left him, citing his neediness, he collapsed into a depression he described as losing his soul. In our work, we trace the obsession back not to her, but to the moment when Daniel, as a boy, was shamed for being too wild, for singing loudly, for dreaming. He had locked away his own spontaneous, untamed nature and placed it in a psychic vault. She simply wore its shape. His grief was not about her absence. It was about the absence of his own aliveness. His healing began when he stopped trying to get her back and started becoming the man who could travel, speak freely, and embrace risk without needing a woman to hold those qualities for him. Now consider another example. Maya had always been the responsible one. She managed her parents' emotions as a child, became a high-performing lawyer, and prided herself on never needing anyone. Underneath, her animus had formed around qualities of play, surrender, and receptive trust. She fell hard for a jazz musician who lived moment to moment, never planned, and seemed to float through life on a breeze of charm. When he failed to show up for an important dinner, Maya's fury was volcanic, but underneath the anger was terror. The terror of losing the only access she had to her own lightness. The mirror cracked, and she was forced to face the fact that she had no idea how to live unburdened without borrowing it from him. Every shattered infatuation holds a comparable message. The person who disappointed you was never the keeper of your soul. They were the delivery service. The package is you. If you grasp this, everything changes. Part 4. Reclaiming the shards of the self. How do you stop the cycle? How do you withdraw the projection and genuinely integrate the anima so you no longer bleed yourself dry on romantic fantasies? The first movement is recognition. You must accept that the obsession is not a sign of love, but a diagnostic tool. When you catch yourself fixating, stop asking, "What do they think of me?" and start asking, "What part of me am I seeing in them?" Keep a journal. Write down the exact qualities that pull you, their confidence, their vulnerability, their artistic sensitivity, their dangerous edge. Then, one by one, interrogate those qualities as your own lost possessions. The second movement is embodiment. It is not enough to intellectually understand that you disowned your spontaneity. You must start acting spontaneously in small, safe ways. If you projected playfulness onto a partner, you must begin playing alone, without an audience. Dance in your kitchen, sing badly in your car, do something absurd just because it feels alive. The unconscious only releases its grip on external objects when it sees you are actually living the unlived life inside. This is uncomfortable work. The moment you try to reclaim a repressed quality, you will feel resistance. If you have built an identity around being responsible and controlled, the first act of spontaneity will feel like psychological vertigo. Your inner critic will scream that you are being foolish. That scream is the sound of your own self-abandonment fighting back. Continue anyway. The anima is not gentle. She is demanding. She will not settle for a single journal entry. She wants a transformed life. The third movement is dialogue. Jung developed an active imagination technique where you engage directly with inner figures. You can sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine the anima as a person inside you. Ask her what she wants. What has she been trying to express through your romantic obsessions? Write down whatever arises. Do not censor. This practice builds a relationship with your own depths, so you no longer need to kidnap another person to host those conversations. I want to offer a specific practice. Picture yourself walking down a spiral staircase into a quiet inner room. There, you find a figure who represents the disowned qualities you have been projecting. Maybe she is wild and unkempt, or maybe she is gentle and full of sorrow. Ask her directly, "What do you need from me that you've been trying to get through my relationships?" Listen without arguing. Write what you hear. Then, in the coming days, take one small action that honors her answer. If she says she needs you to rest, take a nap. If she says she needs you to be seen, wear a color you've been afraid to wear. This process transforms the projection from an external obsession into an internal relationship. One of the most painful aspects of this work is grief. When you reclaim a projection, you must mourn the fantasy. The fairy tale dies. You realize that the soulmate you were chasing never existed outside your mind. That recognition can leave a hollow ache. but the hollowness is the space where your authentic self can finally enter. Jung famously said that we do not solve our problems, we outgrow them. And outgrowing obsession means growing large enough to contain your own exiled beauty. The fourth movement is witnessing. Find a safe other, a therapist, a trusted friend, and tell them what you are discovering. The projection loses power when it is brought into the light of conscious relationship. Secrecy and isolation fuel obsession. Speaking your pattern aloud begins to drain its charge. Part 5. The anatomy of wholeness. When a person integrates the anima, the entire texture of their romantic life transforms. Obsession is replaced by what I call attentive presence. You no longer scan the world for someone to complete you, because you have stopped treating yourself as a half-being. This does not mean you become cold or detached. On the contrary, you become capable of a much deeper love, because you are finally seeing the other person as they are, not as a character in your inner drama. A man who has reclaimed his emotional depth can sit with a woman in her sorrow without needing her to feel better for his comfort. He can receive tenderness without feeling threatened. A woman who has integrated her animus can assert boundaries without guilt and pursue her own creative ambitions without waiting for a partner's permission. The projection no longer holds the relationship hostage because there is nothing left to project. You show up fully, and that fullness invites genuine intimacy, not the borrowed intensity of archetypal possession. Jung described this state as individuation, the slow, lifelong process of becoming the person you were always meant to be, whole and indivisible. In this state, relationships become a place of mutual revelation, not mutual consumption. You do not need the other to reflect your missing self, because that self is now alive in you. You can finally enjoy the other's actual qualities, their quirks, their flaws, their surprise, without the distorting lens of projection. Imagine a partnership where you are not constantly scanning for signs of withdrawal, not performing a version of yourself to keep the mirror intact. You can disagree without existential panic. You can be apart without feeling erased. This is not a distant ideal, it is the natural consequence of integration. The energy you once poured into managing the other person's image of you is freed. It flows back into your own life. Contrast this with the desperation of romantic obsession. In obsession, you are a hunger walking around looking for a meal. You evaluate every person as a potential fix. You measure their departure as a threat to your very existence. That is not love. That is dependency born of self-abandonment. Wholeness feels different. It feels like a quiet interior solidity. You are not searching for a missing piece because you have gathered your pieces back. You are already a mosaic. A partner then becomes someone who stands next to your mosaic and adds their own colors, not to complete you, but to create something new together. Now I want you to notice something. If you have been listening deeply, you may feel a subtle resistance right now. A voice inside may whisper, "But I want the magic. I want the butterflies." Without that intense pull, love feels ordinary. That voice is the addiction speaking. The nervous system has learned to equate drama with aliveness. True psychological wholeness feels suspiciously peaceful at first. It lacks the spikes of adrenaline and the terror of abandonment. It can take time to recalibrate to a love that does not feel like a wound. Give yourself that time. The peace you feel on the other side is not emptiness. It is the quiet hum of a soul, no longer at war with itself. Part 6. The practical integration. I want to leave you with a concrete map. For the next 30 days, try this practice. Every time you notice an attraction, whether to a person, a public figure, or even a fictional character, pause and name 3 specific qualities that captivate you. Then, before you go to sleep, spend 5 minutes imagining yourself acting from those qualities in a real-life scenario. If you are drawn to someone's unwavering confidence, visualize yourself speaking calmly in a meeting, holding your ground. If you are mesmerized by someone's artistic vulnerability, sketch something foolish and show it to a friend. The unconscious learns through imagery and small actions. This daily ritual begins to rewire the projection mechanism. Second, intentionally expose yourself to your neglected side. A rigid, overly scheduled person might spend an afternoon without a plan, following whim. An emotionally muted person might watch a film that reliably makes them cry and let the tears flow without judgment. The goal is not to become a different person, but to expand the range of who you allow yourself to be. The anima demands expression, not perfection. Third, seek out relationships where you are not required to play a fixed role. Spend time with people who do not need you to be the strong one or the sensitive one all the time. Let them see your contradictions. The more you practice being a full human in non-romantic settings, the less pressure you place on a romantic partner to hold your disowned parts. Fourth, do a weekly review of any resentment you feel towards someone you are attracted to. Resentment is often a sign of disowned projection. Ask, what exactly am I angry about? If you are angry that they are too self-focused, ask where you have forbidden your own healthy selfishness. If you are angry that they are emotional, ask where you have exiled your own tears. Every resentment is a roadmap home. Now, a warning. As you reclaim your projections, you may notice your old obsessions losing their charge. People you once found devastatingly magnetic may begin to look ordinary. This can be disorienting, even disappointing. You might feel like you are losing something precious. In truth, you are losing a prison. The intense, painful longing that you mistook for depth was a symptom of your own fragmentation. Let it go. What waits on the other side is a love that does not require you to abandon yourself, a love where you can truly see another person and be seen, without the fog of psychological desperation. A final thought from Jung may guide you here. He said that what you resist not only persists, but grows in size. When you resist your own inner qualities, they project outward and command your attention through obsession. When you turn and face them, the outward grip dissolves, the haunting stops. You become the house of your own soul, and no one holds the key but you. Thank you for staying with this journey. If these ideas resonated, take them not as entertainment but as an assignment. Your psyche is